Good morning. I'm E.Nalina, Assistant Professor in CSE Department in RMD Engineering College. I'm going to take a topic Web Basics in the subject Software Development Practices. So first we'll see what is Web Basics. So in the internet it consists of client and servers. For example, web page that we are reading in the computer file, it is actually the a file which is in the client computer. So the web page we are viewing as a user is the client computer and the page is the client page. So the client and the server are connected by the hypertext protocol, or in short it may be called as HTTP. So both the computers, that is the server and the client, must understand this protocol to communicate with each other. So this can be done by the programs that are used. So the programs can be of any programming languages like C, C++, HTML, like that. So on the client side it is the browser, and on the server side it is one of the types of web server programs. So the client requests some data from the server, and on the server side it responds with in return with the request by the client. So when we use Apache Web Server, for example, HTML uses the Uniform Resource Locator, or it is known as the URL, to communicate between the client and the server. So when the client gives the URL, then the server it tells that the server which web page it needs to send to the client. So the server side will understand from this URL which page has to be sent to the client. So the URL is basically an address web on the web. So if you look at the top of the browser, every page has a URL. So the URL looks like http colon slash two slashes www.engr.colostate.edu/ets/webbasics. So something like that will be the URL which you will be looking at the client side. So this can be divided and explained as the address can be broken into http colon slashes. So this will tell the server that the client is requesting for a web page. So this indicates that the client is requesting a web page. The client can also request other things from the server. So the HTTP will tell that the client is requesting a web page. So this www.engr.colostate.edu. So this is the host that a client computer wishes to connect. So first it will tell that it is a web page. Next part will tell that the which part or which host that the client computer wishes to connect to it. It is basically the name of the computer that the web pages are stored in. ETS.web ETS/web basics. So this is the path to the specific web page or the client wants. So there will be in a web page there will be several tabs or several pages. So to specify a specific web page, this path, the path will be as like ETS/web basics. So this part of the URL tells that the specific web page the client wants to see. So it is basically the listing of directories on the server computer where the file is stored. So the web page is in a directory called web, that is within the directory called how, that is in turn with the directory called ENS that resides on the root of the web server. So another important protocol that is used to communicate between the client and server is HTML, that is the hypertext markup language. So this is the language that is used to actually create the web pages. So any web page you see, that will be created based on the HTML, that is the hypertext markup language. So it tells your browser how to display the content of the computer file on the browser window. So any window we use, it has a HTML file behind it. So this is a pictorial representation of how the web works. So let us consider this as a client machine where the client will request the server using a URL. So the server machine will search for the files and resources based on the URL which is given by the client. So then the server will respond the client with the response. So this is how the web works. So when the client, how the request and response is attained. So behind the server, the searching is based on the request given by the client, and that is what is explained in the previous slides. Thank you.